Red River Theaters opened in October of 2007, so we're not quite 3 years old. And it was this huge community effort. It probably took about 7 years and all kinds of volunteers, a very dedicated board of directors. But it really was this dream that began with, I think, the closing of Barry Steelman's Cinema 93, and a number of people really felt they wanted an independent movie theater here on Main Street in Concord. So we thought, what can we do to make it happen?
In Cinema 93, for almost a 20-year period of its 30-plus year history, directed its presentation towards kind of a specialized presentation. And it did have various and sundry little blips during that nearly 20 years that changed what it was doing. But for the most part, that tried to be an offbeat location for movie watching. And when that was forced to close because of the landlord's desire to tear down the buildings, it was presented to me by people in the community that it was too bad that they could no longer be afforded the ability to see that locally, that sort of entertainment, that they would have to travel a distance to do so. And prevailed upon me to try to establish some sort of, beginning to what has evolved into Red River Theaters.
So we first had to find a space, and then we had to raise the money. And we ultimately raised $1.8 million to build this gorgeous, gorgeous and intimate small theater.
I have supported Barry's work over the years and have always loved community theater, and this is a great place to come meet and see friends and have a great movie experience.
An independent movie theater actually has a technical definition. We play films that are independently produced, though they might be commercially distributed. But I think our goal is to show the community and the region the wide world of film and what it has to offer, so that we do not just stick with films that have strong commercial viability.
I just love the theater. It's not like your shoebox theaters, and they have really interesting movies. I just believe it's a worthwhile project, and I hope it makes it.
I love the fact that on Friday nights we see some of the same people coming in every Friday night to see their weekly movie. It creates a real community. My wife and I feel like we're friends with the folks that come in, even though some we don't know their names, but it's still, we know you from Red River. And then I see them out in the community, and we talk about the last movie we saw, and it's fun, and it's unique.
We really like to have parties because culture is made when people come together, and that buzz sort of electrifies us all and broadens our world. And when somebody has made a movie, locally in particular, and this is the first time you get to see it with the people who are in the movie, or just, we're the first ones who get to see it, it's very fun because you're new. You haven't had the marketing, sort of put at you yet.
Hi, I'm Mike Laurent. I work at Red River Theaters. I work in the concession stand, and we're premiering a movie that was locally made and produced in New Hampshire called Which Way.
Which Way is kind of loosely based around a true story, a haunted house that I used to live in growing up. And I kind of took a little things from my life, close people, blew it up, exaggerated, made it an interesting story.
Basically, the movie's based on a group of eclectic college students who find a cursed estate due to a girl named Danielle that they go to school with, and then they go there and a bunch of crazy stuff starts happening.
It's just a big red carpet premiere. We're just celebrating the film. It's going to be out in select theaters coming this fall. We're kind of giving everyone a little taste of what's to come.
Oh, this is a wonderful place. I mean, I was so surprised when I first came here to see, a small indie film that wasn't out in big theaters, and it was just so welcoming. You come in and it's not like you're, here's your ticket. They come in, hey, how are you? They really greet you here. So I had in my back of my mind that I think this will be a perfect place.
I think it's over the top. I honestly never expected this.
We didn't expect this. It's really cool.
So Red River regularly shows films, but in addition to just the mainstream films, these smaller films, oftentimes we can get the filmmaker to come or somebody who's familiar with the subject matter. And I think if you're at home wondering, should I go to that film or not, I've not heard about it, but I can talk after the film with someone who was involved with it. That is pretty interesting and not something you can do at home. Mito Kids was another event that's a lot of fun to bring the public out to. It's a slightly different film. Mark Dole is a very talented filmmaker in Portsmouth, and all 4 of his daughters have mitochondrial disease.
Mito Kids is a film about my kids that's just evolved over the last 20 years. The Mito Kids movie unto itself started a few years back, just after the economy had really slowed down. I didn't have much to work on, and I was at home for a couple of weeks over Christmas with the kids, and I started putting together home videos, realizing, wow, you can go back and see the home videos from when the twins were 2, and at the time we didn't know that one was deaf.
I was nervous at first, but I understand that Dad really wanted to show that story about our lives, and I felt like it was hard, and I didn't understand the idea, but I supported him, and I really thought it was good.
What we're showing tonight is the 20-minute short film that won the Best New Hampshire Documentary last year at the New Hampshire Film Festival. It's played 4 or 5 other film festivals around the country, and actually screens next month in Washington, D.C. at a genetics conference. It's the 20-minute version that we created to raise funds so we can do the feature version of the film. And then also, one of the unique things that my twin daughters did this year is they wrote a film about being deaf.
In our apartment, we have this projector, so we're used to seeing it on a big wall, because, you know, fancy and all that. But seeing so many people in the audience, it's like, I got nervous. This isn't actually the first script I've written about deaf people interacting with hearing people. I've made stuff with schools and parks and movie theaters and everything that challenges deaf people with hearing people. And hopefully, if we get enough funding for this, we can make more of it. And I'd really love that. And I think a lot of the deaf and hard of hearing people would too.
I definitely want to encourage people to look into mitochondrial disease. If you go to mitokids.org, you can see more about our film, but then you can also go to umdf.org and read all about the different disorders that are connected to mitochondrial disease, because many families will have an issue with one child and a different issue with another child, and they will be very frustrated because they don't know what's going on. The doctors are puzzled. And we've been through this for almost 20 years now, with the doctors just not knowing what is going on.
I think commercial theaters do not have the same flexibility often as we do as a nonprofit theater to take on very small projects like this. We get charitable contributions, we have strong membership program, and I think the community recognizes that if they want to support artists or unusual films, that you need a theater like ours to do that.
Well, I guess we're looking for the unusual film, the avant-garde type film. We moved here from Portsmouth, and we're used to going to the music theater, and we're delighted when we discovered Red River here.
So for Market Days, we decided we would do something sort of spectacular outdoors, and one of our staff members built this totally cool and elegant outdoor screen. It's a giant piece of spandex stretched between 2 masts, and we showed Charade, an Audrey Hepburn, Cary Grant movie. And the Concord Cooperative Market partnered with us, and we laid out this 80-foot by 32-foot piece of green lawn. And people showed up with their lawn chairs and their blankets, and it was packed. I think we had more than 300 people, and we sort of did it under the stars at the tail end of Market Days. It was wonderful. It was great. And we're going to do it now. We now have a screen, and we'd like to do more outdoor movies next year.
It's very user-friendly. Movie theater size is great. The additional rooms for meetings and conferences and post-movie discussion is fantastic.
I would highly encourage public life, public cultural life. There's a lot of people in the community, and I think every single person here at Red River really cares about the shared life we all have. And don't take it for granted that just because you've seen something marketed on television that that's going to be the total gratification that you get. If you explore all the options that are out there in Concord, in music, in dance, in theater, in restaurants, it's so fun to get out of the house, and you can do it, for not a whole lot of money.